Blog Talk Radio.
Wish they see me for me, me for me. Wish they see me for me, just me, but they
see a reflection of a girl's depression from voices concerned about impressing and not respecting. I've been blessed with this blessed curse. It always hurts, it's like they eyes don't connect with hers. Rather the skirts, I've been touched in different ways through the thirst. Second and third, so bad I've been conditioned not to flirt. What is it worth when I cross the street, they just stop and flirt. I can hear them now.
Hey, DJ Zika in the house. Vision. Alrighty then.
Hello.
Go ahead, Miss Vicky. You there, Miss Vicky?
Yes, I am. Hey.
Alrighty then.
Miss Vicky in the house as well.
Alrighty then.
That was a nice song. That song
Thank you.
sure sound like my daughter. Goodness.
We're just how you fans out there doing? Thank you for listening as always. We wanted to switch it up. It was a little mixture of two songs together. You know, we got skills like that. We could do that. The song that we played just now, hopefully we'll play a little bit more when it's over. It's called Sexual Harassment. That is also another song by Elevate Your Game. Give a shout out to Elevate Your Game. It's a mentor program. We thank Elevate Your Game for allowing us to have access to their music. So that song is called Sexual Harassment. And you can find it on YouTube under EYG if you're really feeling it. So with that, how's everybody doing? How you doing, Miss Vicky?
I'm doing just fine. I'm multitasking. You know, it's birthday celebration time, so, you know, it's like the regular, ordinary day is going on, but at the same time, it's extra stuff because we're celebrating birthdays, so. Just multitasking, but I'm getting settled now.
Yes,
Thank you for giving me that time to get settled in.
Yes, I must agree. You know, October is I don't want to say busy because that's a word. You know, I try not to say too often. I say productive because you can be busy and don't do a darn thing. And I can tell you right now, me and Miss Vicky. When we're doing something, it's very productive. It's for a reason. We're not just doing something to be doing it, and people think we ain't doing nothing. No, not at all. So we've had a very productive weekend, celebrating my birthday weekend, and we're going to continue it on to next weekend for Miss Vicky, and then we're going to continue for both of us the whole month. So we'll keep you posted. So we can start by saying I got the pleasure of going to Parker Lighthouse on Friday for the very first time. I like going to be about the boats in the water. I used to do that when I was young, when I needed to just get away. So I think I should start doing that again for my own self-help reasons. We all should have self-maintenance, self-help for ourselves because we want to be able to function if we don't think about ourselves. And then I went and got my hair done, different color. Got it a little shorter, a little carefree because I'm very, very productive and I don't have time to be messing with my hair. So I could just get up and go. Thank you. And then I went to, then my dog, also known as Miss Figgy, took me out to Red Lobster. So I had a very, very busy Friday. Then Saturday, what did I do? Was I able to rest? I do believe I was able to rest. And then got back up this morning. No, I couldn't go to church. No, I decided to rest today and spend time with the Lord here at home. And then I went to the movies. Me and Miss Vicky went to the movies, and we saw Hustler. And we're going to leave it at that. We'll talk about Hustler when time permits. Moving right.
Because that's definitely some stuff to talk about. However, Hello, listeners. Hello, fam. Hello to everyone under the sound of my voice. Much love to you, peace and harmony, and may God's blessings fall upon you and your life and your journey and your family and everything. But I just wanted to give a shout out to our sponsor, WEXP 88.3 and Eon H2O Water Company. Want to give a shout out to them. We always want to acknowledge them because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be hosting a show on this station at this present time. So we just want to let you know we really, really appreciate you for creating this vehicle, this outlet for us to be able to share with our listeners and with the community on social issues. Also, I wanted to give DJ Dika a chance to give our listeners the social media outlets that they can reach us, so that, because we get so tied up in our subject matter that we run out of time at the end, that we don't have time to take care of the bills. So let's take care of the bills and the business part on the front, so that we won't have anything keeping us from sharing what we want to talk about today.
Yes, because
right?
we got a lot of. Yes, because we got a lot of things to talk about today that's very important. So I'm going to begin. Our contact information is divinevictoryproductions@gmail.com. That's our email, so you can email us questions, need resources, just want prayer, whatever. DivineVictoryMinistries.duda1, the word 1.com. Oh, I got it right today. DivineVictoryMinistries.1.com is our website. Please check it out. Also, on our website, you're going to find many pictures of myself and Ms. Vicki and the things that we're doing out in the community. And there's also a way for you to donate. We also have a donation on our Facebook page, or our Facebook page, personal page, under Dika McLean. Again, a fundraiser for Divine Victory Message on my personal page, and then Ms. Vicki is going to do one for her page. And we got $35 so far, so thank you very much for the $35. Every little bit helps.
Yes,
what we do.
Thank
if you
you.
Want to, and you love our show, please do, because this is an extension of our ministry, Divine Victory Ministries. This is just another outlet of creativity that we're using. Also, for our social media, we are Facebook, Divine Victory Ministries. The D, the V, and the M is capital. Remember, as always, click on the one that has the key in the middle, because that's what we represent, the key of awareness, key of education, and key of empowerment. Our Twitter page is DVM418, and our Instagram is Divine Victory Ministries, all in small letters. And that's it as far as communicating with us. And then we're going to move on and give you some resources.
Well, listen, I want to do you got some resources? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go on and give the resources.
Okay, so outside of it being DJ Dika and Ms. Vicky's birthday, it's also Domestic Violence Month. It's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's also Disability Employment Awareness Month. So I wanted to give some resources. And also this week, I got a resource for LA Law Library pro bono services. So if I may, Ms. Vicki, I'll just give a little information, because this is very good information. These are workshops and free legal services at the Public Legal Services Fair, which will be on Saturday, October 26th, and 26th. So it starts on the 21st of Monday, October 21st. So real quickly, if you have a pen and pencil, you might want to take this down. Legal landlord-tenant, where you begin. That is from 11:15 a.m. to 12:15 p.m., and this is Monday, October 21st. The next workshop is how to challenge government agency decisions. That is from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The next workshop, who is the client, ethical issues and medical legal community partnerships. That's 12:15 to 1:15. Landlords and tenants, evictions and collections, 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. That is all on Monday the 21st. Tuesday, we have volunteer training, establishing guardianships. That's 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. How to become a minor's legal guardian is 10:30 to 2:30 p.m. Access to police personnel files, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Voters with disabilities, accessibility voting workshop is 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Business series, sales techniques and strategies is 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. And it's a lot more, and it'll take up the rest of the show. But if you're interested in some of these workshops and the many more that they have, you can go to probonoweek.lawlibrary.org, and that's where all these workshops are going to be, and they're all free, and they're open to the public. What else do I have?
That's awesome.
I'm glad I like that, Ms. Vicki. We're about resources. Also.
Yes, we are.
Okay, also, because it's Domestic Violence Month, and we'll try to share something every week because this is, a very serious matter. I'm just going to give you a few facts.
Is this a resource? Is this a resource?
No, these are just facts.
Okay.
11 facts about domestic and dating violence. You can find this information on www.dosomething.org /US/facts 11-facts about domestic and dating violence. And I'll just read a few of them. Domestic dating violence is a pattern of controlling behaviors that one partner uses to get power over the other, including physical violence or threat of physical violence to get control, emotional or mental abuse, and sexual abuse. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is very important. Domestic violence is just not about physical. Domestic violence happens through emotional or mental abuse or sexual abuse. And I'm going to stop right there. Is there anything you want to add to that, Ms. Vicki?
No, I agree. I agree with everything you said, that it's emotional, physical, it's sexual as well. But it can also be, some people don't connect with rejection being a form of abuse, especially when they purposely reject you. I can see if you having, issues where you guys are having problems with communication or, something that's not like repetitive, the behavior is not repetitive, but if they purposely are rejecting you and causing you to feel, inadequate or, your esteem being affected by that, that's abuse. And some people don't look at that as abuse. So I just want to add that on.
Thank you, Ms. Vicki. And another fact, I'll do two more. 85% of domestic violence victims are women. Number 3, 1/4 of women worldwide will experience domestic dating violence in their lifetime. Women between the ages of 20 to 24 are at the greatest risk of becoming victims of domestic violence. That's deep. Number 4, domestic violence is most likely to take place between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Now, that's a fact I did not know. Wow. Domestic violence is mostly likely to take place between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. And we're going to stop right there. We'll continue the rest of them next week because we're going to continue this the whole month of October. And one more fact I'm going to share about, breast cancer awareness. So we've covered domestic violence, Disability Awareness Month. I think I'll share that next week. I wasn't able to find the information I wanted right now, so I'll just share this about breast cancer, and it's pertaining to men. And I thought that was interesting because breast cancer does affect men as well as women. So let me. It said less than 1% of all breast cancer occurs in men. Let me read that again. Less than 1% of all breast cancers occur in men. In 2019, about 2 men are expected to be diagnosed with a disease. For men, the lifetime risk of being diagnosed with breast cancer is about one. Hold on, my phone. Cancer is about 1 in 833, and this was as of August 2019. So, gentlemen, please be checked. Get your screenings when you should.
Get your physicals. Yeah.
Yes, because I think sometimes men, they're the strong ones, and they take care of their family and they do everything else, and they don't take their health serious. And then they might be that myth they're thinking, oh, it ain't going to happen to me. That's just for women. No, man, it happens to you too.
Well, some men may get physicals. Some men may actually get physicals, but if the doctor doesn't ask them, to get certain screenings done, they may neglect to do it because they don't really know to do it. So this is kind of like it's possibly new information for some people. So,
Amen.
Just like my mom was telling me that that I should get my, what is it? What is chicken pox when you're in older age? What is that called?
Shingles.
Oh, man. Yeah, shingles. She said I should get shingles. Go to the doctor and ask them for the shot for shingles, the immunization for shingles. And she said something about that it runs in, that, people are getting it in their older age. And if you handle it with the immunization, then, you'll be less likely to get it. It's better to handle it ahead of time. So I'm just saying, like, that was information, that was education that she made me aware of. So now I need to go talk to my doctor about it and find out how do I move forward with it. So the same thing with the men with the breast cancer. Now that this information is shared to them, share it with them, so now they can go and talk to their doctors about it and find out how to move forward. But initially, some men don't even know that. Like, they don't even know, because like when you fill out the app, the assessment form or whatever, the form that you fill out when you go to the doctor to get your physical, or the first time you go to that doctor's office or work under that doctor or whatever the case may be, they ask you all these things about your health, your history, all these things, right? But if certain health issues don't stand out, they may not even ask the patient to get a certain screening done because they feel like it's not running in your family. So like for me, breast cancer doesn't run in my family. So they weren't on me to get a screening, to get my mammogram until the later age, versus if it ran in your family, then you get it done earlier. So I'm just wanted to reiterate that part about, some men don't even know to go and ask the doctor for that. Because, some doctors, depending on your medical insurance, and sometimes depending on if the doctor is a good doctor or a doctor that's kind of chilled, they may not even do anything unless you ask them. Like, they'd be like, okay, what are you here for? And then you have to tell them what you're there for. You have to be proactive. So, yeah, I think that was enough for me to share about that.
It's transparent, and I believe that that message and this information that we're given is meant for someone. And while Miss Vicki was talking, I was going to let it go, but I just can't, because I'm a strong advocate for people with disabilities. So I was able to quickly look up some information pertaining to National Disability Employment Awareness Month. So I'm going to give you this information, just a little. National Disability Employment Awareness Month is a national campaign held in October that raises awareness about employment issues for people with disabilities and celebrate their contributions to the workforce. Why is this important, you ask? It's important because of this reason right here. At 20% of the population, people with disabilities are one of the nation's largest minority groups. Let me say that again. People with disabilities are one of the nation's largest minority groups. Yet, the most recent U.S. disability employment statistics show that only 20% of people with disabilities are participating in the workforce, compared to 69% of people without disabilities. And I'm going to stop right there. And like I said, we're going to give nuggets every week pertaining to domestic violence, pertaining to Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and National Disability Employment Month. And we're going to go. Miss Vicky, do you have an unsung hero for this week?
I sure do.
Okay.
I want to acknowledge a wonderful woman that I met when I was going to school for alcohol and drug counseling. Her name is Marilyn Lee. We call her Miss Lee. And Miss Lee was my instructor. And also she's a mentor to people in the community that struggle with drug abuse. She's a recovering addict, and she's a Christian. Her drug of choice was heroin, and she used heroin at least 30 years of her life, if not more. And then she's been to prison more than 18 times. Now, the amount of time she spent in there, she had long stretches and short stretches. But she is a recovering addict, and she went back to school, and she got her AA, then she got her bachelor's, then the last I talked to her, she was working for her towards her master's. But I do know she got her bachelor's in alcohol and drug counseling, and she was my instructor in alcohol and drug counseling at Intercoast College in Carson, California. And in teaching, while she was teaching the class, she had the privilege to teach individuals that she actually got high with in the community, like she actually did prison time with, and things like that. So it was a very interesting experience being under her as a student. And one thing that I learned from her was that we had to learn about the 12 steps. And she said that you can use the 12 steps is a really good tool for anyone to use. You don't have to just be a drug addict to use the 12 steps, because they're pretty good concepts that can hit in a lot of just about every area. So another thing she had told me was that a lot of times people that stop using drugs, they don't stop with the behavior, and that's very important, that once you stop using drugs, that you need to change your behavior too, because in the area of drug addiction, you develop very negative behaviors which are illegal. Like your mindset is doing things illegal. So when you do get cleaned up, you have to change your whole mindset. It's almost like the Bible where it says renew your mind. And renewing your mind meaning putting new stuff in there and getting rid of that old stuff, like that negative, nasty stuff that corrupted your life. So in the concept of the 12 steps, it actually helps you with that process. Now, of course, the person has to have a will. And, in the 12-step program, they have the higher power thing, dynamic going on, which really we all know it's God. But I'm just saying that she really was a really good teacher, and she really set a really good example, not only in the community, but as an instructor. Like, she gave back, and she's still giving back. And I just want to give kudos to Marilyn Lee, who we call Miss Lee, who is or was, I'm not sure if she's still an instructor at Intercoast College, but she was an instructor there for a while, and I know she was a resident of Long Beach, California. And I just want to let her know that she is appreciated, and that I appreciate her, and I actually know a lot of other people that appreciate her as well. So we want to thank God for Marilyn Lee. I'm done.
Vicky says she does. I was just listening about her story and the drugs and alcohol program and people that are dealing with that right now. And I also know the few people that I know that gone through the program and on a regular basis have to follow the 12 steps. And I just commend them for their commitment to stick to those 12 steps. And then the serenity prayer that they often say. And I'm not a person that has had to deal with drugs or alcohol, but I'll tell you this. I think about 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago, outside of my regular prayers that I tell to God, I found myself saying the serenity prayer. So if you guys don't mind, I'll share it, for whoever it needs to go to. It ain't about whether you're Christian or not, Muslim, Buddhist, it doesn't matter. It's just about having that peace of mind so you can get through life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to go on and say it. Oh, God and Heavenly Father, grant to me the serenity of mind to accept that which cannot be changed and the courage to change that which can be changed and the wisdom to know the one from the other. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. You wanted to make a comment?
Oh, no, I was getting ready to say it with you, but I didn't know that you were going to say it differently. I was going to say the serenity prayer also.
I was just getting it off, Google. Google.
But you know what?
Yeah.
But you know what? It's so funny. It's so I don't want to say crazy, but you know how we use different words to express ourselves.
I say crazy.
But it's such a trip how I grew up with that serenity prayer in my home. Like my mom used it as a decoration tool piece in the restroom. So when I would go to the restroom, I would always read it, but I didn't really know anything about it. I didn't know nothing about Bill Winston, the guy that started the AA program and how the prayer started there and all those things. I didn't know nothing about that. And when I had gotten to the point where I ended up taking the alcohol and drug counseling classes, that's when I learned about that they use the serenity prayer. And I was like, wow, I said, I know that serenity prayer by heart because I read it, all the time when I went in the restroom. So it's such a trip how you can have subliminal messages in your home. And that was a positive subliminal message in my home. Even though it's not a scripture for those that are Christians that are always looking for things to be in the Bible, this is actually a concept of the word. It may not be scriptural, but it's concept. And it's a really good concept. And I'm glad that I learned that. That was just like, it's like a prayer, it's a confession. So, yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
All righty, then. I'm looking at the time, and we don't have time to do our little sports thing, but I will do this in honor of Miss Vicky. Excuse me, wrong team. The Rams is my team. I don't think they
was getting ready to say.
I don't think they played today. I think so. I'm not
I think
my
they played Thursday.
Y'all know they played last Thursday. Okay, well, Raiders, we're just going to focus on Vicky's team right now, today. The Raiders won. They played the Bears. So the score was 24, and I'll do one more. I know I was going to say one, but it's right here. The Saints won. The score, they played the Bears, and they beat the Rams last week, and the Saints beat them this week. 24-31 was the score, and I'm going to leave it right there. As far as the Dodgers are concerned, I know they're in the National League Championship, and they're playing, the first person to get 3 games will win the series, and then the other team, they win, they play each other, and then we go into World Series. So we're going to hope and pray that the Dodgers can finally get there. Okay, it's at the top of the 9th. And the Dodgers have 10, and the Nationals have 4, and the series is tied 1-1. The first person to win 3 games will move on. The other National League Division series is the Braves and the Cardinals. So the Braves won 3, and the Cardinals got 1. So whoever wins out of the National and Dodger game, and whoever wins out of the Cardinals and Braves game, they will play each other for a chance at the World Series. And like I said, I hope the Dodgers can get there again, but this time win. And on that note, we're going to finally go into our subject matter. Back to life, back to reality.
Back to reality.
Okay, so our subject matter is talking about TV shows and movies that have an impact on society. And me and Miss Vicky love to watch TV. Well, maybe I won't speak for Miss Vicky, but I know I like to watch TV. TV was my babysitter. And I'm 52 years old. Oh, wait. Did I turn 51, 52? Yes, I turned 52. Yes. I'm 52 years old. I still watch TV. That's my favorite pastime. And now I'm learn how to, for myself, for me time. It's very difficult for me, but I'm learning how to do it at least one day a week. You know, just don't think about any responsibilities. Just have me time. And that's my stress reliever, catching up on my TV shows that I missed during the week. And now Miss Vicky got me hooked on Saints and Sinners, so now I got to watch that. Power is my regular, and whatever else me and Miss Vicky want to watch. So.
Well, let me tell you, I'm not a person that loves TV, but I do enjoy certain programs. I'm more of a music person and an outdoor person. But I do enjoy certain programs, especially if they have a message in them.
Yes.
You know, regardless if I plan on sharing it with the world or not, I just love shows with a message. I don't like the programs that are like corny. I don't care for those type of programs. Like, it's kind of like it doesn't entertain me at all. I try to watch them sometime, but I just can't get with it. It has to be some kind of message in there. And if it's a message in a corny program, I can't get it. I'm just that's just not my. I don't roll with that. So, but yeah.
And I just wanted to add, get into it, that another form of stress reliever for me is I like the water. I like to go to the beach. And then the other one is, even though I said I like TV, sometimes listening to the music may chop that. So TV and music, and that's why my name is DJ Dika, because I listened to music when I was a kid, and I had the good opportunity to be a DJ and have my own show at Cal State Long Beach. Give it up for Cal State Long Beach. We are both alumni at Cal State Long Beach, so that's where I got my start as DJ Dika. So we're going to move on. I'll start us off, and Miss Vicky, you just, come into the conversation. I've been trying to talk about this movie for the last 2 weeks. Now, Miss Vicky gonna finally let me talk about it. Okay, Enough. Enough is a movie with Jennifer Lopez, and Miss Vicky will tell you a story. I don't watch this movie.
You want to talk about it because you like to fight. That's why.
Okay, see, there you go, telling our dirty laundry again. Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason why.
Okay. I'm trying to be a reformed fighter, but hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. And yes, people with disabilities can fight. Why y'all try? Wait, ain't she disabled? How she fight? We can discuss that a whole nother day. Anyway, Enough focuses on the dynamic of going through domestic violence and having to protect yourself when the law does not help. So that was the whole premise of the movie with Jennifer Lopez. She was going through a domestic violence situation. Yeah, I hate to say it, but it never fails. The relationship starts out being nothing but roses and all good stuff, lovey-dovey, and then all of a sudden the switch flips and the relationship changes, and that was what happened in the movie. Everything was fine. They had a little girl. Everything was peaches and cream. And then one day he just flipped. He also started having an affair, and Jennifer Lopez found out about it. And he was like, "Why you tripping?" I'm using my language. "Why you tripping? I'm still with you. You my wife, but I can have a little something on the side." So Jennifer Lopez wasn't having it, and I'll let Vicky share. Go ahead, Vicky.
Well, Um, the part I don't want to share about that part. The part I want to share about is how she went and took some self defense classes.
Yes,
That's the
go
part
ahead.
I want to share.
Go ahead, go share.
So, well, leading to that part, so because Jennifer Lopez spoke up to her husband about how he had been not spending time with her and all those things, he became physically abusive toward her because she spoke up. And so anyway, I believe he ended up taking her child from her, right? Didn't he
He
take her
tried.
child from her?
He
Yeah,
tried
he
to.
tried to take her child. He tried to take her child from her. And so anyway, she was put in a position where she was very helpless. She was helpless, and she had to end up going and learn self defense. But before the self defense part, I'm trying to remember what happened because he had made her look really bad where she had to go and sneak and do this self defense class. But I can't remember that part of what happened.
May I help? Um,
Yes,
it,
please.
it got to the point where he was trying to kill her. Her family had to step in, and when the family stepped in, he threatened them. And financial abuse is a part of it as well. If you didn't know, financial abuse is an abuse where he stopped her credit cards, all her money, because she tried to go check into a hotel with her daughter, and he stopped the credit card. So then her uncle had to pay for the room, and then also she had to leave the state to get away from him. And she ended up with her best friend who was a male. He lived in Seattle, and then he found her there because he had connections in the community, higher up community, and then she ended up meeting up with her father that she never met ever. And then by the time she got to him, her father, he didn't believe her, and then she proved to him that she was his daughter, and then she asked for help, and he ended up helping her. And then by the time he started helping her and her moving around with her daughter, she even went to the police. I think that's what drove her to go get self defense classes because she went to the police. This is where the justice system kind of fails, and I don't know when it's gonna get better. I'm just telling you. She went to the police like they tell us to do. She went to the police, but they didn't believe her because she didn't have bruises on her, and she's like telling them that he's abusing her, but they wouldn't listen. And I'll be glad when it gets to the point where a man or a woman doesn't have to have a bruise on their face or something for them to get help. So,
Well, actually, it is better now. We got to
okay,
make
well, thanks.
correction on that part. It is better. I mean, it can be better, but it's better than it was back then. Because I don't know when enough was made, but it was made during a time where the system was messed up in regards to domestic violence. But nowadays, I have found that in certain areas they're responding faster and more than usual than before.
So
It's
you don't
even
have
to
to
the
have
point where some I can't tell you that part if it has to be a bruise, but I do know in certain states you don't have to have a bruise for them to come out. Yeah. So I know back in the day that's how it was. You had to have a bruise or whatever, but no, you don't have to have a bruise for them to come out. As far as charges being pressed, you have to go through a process with that. If it's invisible, if the scars are invisible. But I'm just saying, I remember back in the day that you couldn't even get them to come out. For a lot of times when stuff like that was going on. But these days, that it's more they're more reactive. The police officers come out, more faster now.
Well, thank you for that information, Ms. Vicki. Thank you. And that's why it's two of us, with giving the information. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next program. Greenleaf. And speaking of Greenleaf, we spoke on Greenleaf on another episode, and Ms. Vicki was asking where was Greenleaf story, what word I'm looking for? Greenleaf
where was
story
it located?
Was located in
Where's
Atlanta.
Where's the church? The setting of the screening of it, or the background.
It's supposed to be in Atlanta.
So it's in Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, so we're going to touch base on Greenleaf, the dynamic of the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship. Mother and daughter relationship, where daughter is asked, there's two different things. Okay, so first, in Greenleaf, they're showing the dynamic of the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship. And, depending on the people, that can be very stressful at times. And then there's mothers, daughter-in-laws that get along very well. And then another issue came up in the program is the dynamic of the mother and daughter relationship, where the mother has a secret and she's not willing to reveal it yet, and she's asking her daughter to keep her secret. Mother and daughter relationship, where daughter is asked to keep a secret for her mother about her long-lost brother she didn't know she had. And then the third thing that came out as an association.
But wait, before you move on, we didn't speak on what the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law issue was. We just said there was an issue, but we didn't say what it was.
Yeah, I'm going to go there. I'm just trying to get all three of them out, then we can discuss it real quick. So that was the third issue was the dynamic of what was it? Where is it at? Husband and wife relationship being supportive of one another. So that was three different issues that was going on. So I'm going to let Ms. Vicki start with the mother and daughter relationship. The mother-in-law and
mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law relationship. So
the
mother-in-law is the first lady of the church on Greenleaf, because I can't remember the name of the church, but the church that's the family that has a church on the show Greenleaf, the mother and the first lady, that's the mother-in-law, and then the daughter-in-law is her son's wife, and the relation, it's like the mother-in-law is very domineering. She's actually kind of flamboyant too. She kind of bougie. Those of you who don't know what bougie is, which most people should know that, but it's really like a stigma. It's a negative stigma, but basically she carries herself in a proud way. She holds, she's what's another word? I know back in the day we would say, she has an air about her, or they have an air about them, or they think they're better than other people because of how they carry themselves. But bougie, I guess, is like a person that's very particular. A lot of us, most people can be particular about things, but when you're considered bougie, it's like, I only drink alkaline. I don't drink that. It's like your reaction to certain things. It's like, you be like, really? I don't do that. It's like that's how her personality is. And the daughter-in-law is also domineering. She's not flamboyant, but she's domineering. And she's even she seems more domineering than her husband, which is the mother-in-law's son. And the daughter-in-law, she does not give the mother-in-law respect. Like when she talks to her, she speaks her mind, and she's actually disrespectful when she speaks her mind to her mother-in-law. And the thing that I wanted to touch on with that is I understand that, the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship can sometimes be strained, or you have these unresolved issues, or you have issues with communicating. However, I think it's very, very disrespectful for a younger woman to disrespect her elder. And then on top of it, that's your husband's mother. Like, you still are supposed to show respect. And I don't know, sometimes I found that people nowadays that I have run across, I know people that respect their elders, but it seems like we try to put it on the younger generation, but I've seen people in my generation disrespect their elders. Like they feel like they should be treated equal, and if they're not being treated equal, they feel like it's okay to, in their mind, treat the elder the same way they're being treated. And a lot of times they're not even being treated in a bad way. It's just the elder is calling them on their stuff like they're supposed to, like they're teaching them as they're supposed to teach the younger. Like the older women are supposed to teach the younger women, or the older men are supposed to teach the younger men. You know what I'm saying? So that they can know how to handle things as they go on in their life. Because the older people have more wisdom because they have more experience. But as a result, the younger women are taking it as a rebuke or a disrespect, shall I say, and then they want to lash back out, and that's nothing cute about that. And so that's what she's doing on Greenleaf. And then whenever his mom, from what I can remember, whenever his mom would even say anything about her son, she would try to speak up for him. Like she was just very disrespectful. Like her role is irritating to me, which her role is needed on the show, but she's just one of the characters that I don't care for in regards to how she treats her mother-in-law. I don't like that. That's not cool. Her image of how she treats her mother-in-law is really bad, and it just reminds me of people that I've run across in my lifetime, and I'm not saying I don't like them, but I just don't like the behavior that they display when they're disrespectful to their elders. I mean, you shouldn't be disrespectful to anyone, but I'm just talking about elders. You know, like I shouldn't disrespect my mother, and I shouldn't disrespect somebody else's mother. You know, and then I think some people have a difficult time understanding what disrespect is too. You know, like they feel like they're not doing anything wrong because they're speaking up. But if we don't call them on it, then they get away with it. So that's the other thing. The son didn't call her on it. You know, he should have checked his wife, even if he did it in the privacy of their own home. You don't let your wife disrespect your mother, and vice versa. The wife should not let her husband disrespect her mother, you know, because even the Bible believers, because I know time is being well spent, but even Bible believers, it says in the word, you cleave to your own wife and your own husband. And it doesn't say you got to pass to disrespect the parents, though, but in that regard, you know, you cleaving together, but at the same time, you're not giving them a pass. When I say cleave, I mean you're coming together with your husband and your wife. You're leaving your parents and your older children or whatever, and you're you're joining with your own spouse, with your wife or your husband. And so you're coming together as one in one mind, you know, financially in the same house, everything. So it's like when you have issues or you want to talk things through, you talk things through with them before you go talk to your mama or your daddy or your children. You talk things through with them. So I'm saying as they talking things through and they want to complain about their mother-in-law, their father-in-law, whatever the case may be, that can be handled between them two, but it's crossing boundaries when you actually go to the parent and you disrespecting them or you're addressing them in a way that's not cordial. You know, there's a line that you can cross, and I feel like she did that. She crossed the line on Greenleaf.
All right, thank you. We commend for the premise of the show, like we said, is wrapped around a church family. And most of the time when you're watching TV and you're watching shows, most of the time they do a very good job of bringing out issues that we go through every day. So, you know, we got people out there that don't get along with their in-laws. And really, you know.
And then they did it in front of the kids, too. So then what kind of example is that for the children?
Right.
So then you're showing the children not to respect their grandparents.
Exactly. That's another issue. We can talk about that later, you know. But anyway, and then another issue that came out in Greenleaf is the mother and daughter relationship. We know that mother and daughter relationships are not always the best, and we're not saying that there's not those out there that have good relationships, because I know people that do have good relationships with their daughter. But on this episode of Greenleaf, they're touching on a subject matter where her mother, the daughter, which is the First Lady's daughter, her and her daughter have a very good relationship. And then something happened to her to cause her to, she had a medical situation, and it caused her to blame God and be mad at God for a while. So she's slowly trying to come back around. And during that time, I think it kind of affected her relationship with her mom as well. But this particular situation happened where her mother has a secret. And the secret is that she has a son that nobody knew she had before she had her daughter when she was younger, and she gave it up for adoption. And the father didn't even know. He just started finding out as well that he had a son, and the son was in jail. So she helped, she came to peace with the fact she had a son because he was calling her, and she went to go help him get out of jail. So he's out now. And then the daughter got mad at her mother for something else, and she went to school, and then she came back, and she's upset with her mom because she's trying to keep the secret. Her family don't even know she had a child. And now he's here now, and she's not happy about that. And she was like, I'm not going to keep your secret. I won't tell anybody your secret, but I'm not going to condone it, and I'm not coming back to the house until you tell your secret. So how do you feel about that, Miss Vicky? Should a mother make a daughter keep a secret?
No, a mother shouldn't make a daughter keep a secret, because I think that can lead to other things in the relationship that the daughter may have with other people, especially men, as she gets older. Actually, it's like I say that it's her mom. Her mom shouldn't have brought her daughter into it, because I actually didn't see that episode, so I can't really speak on it in regards to what happened on the show. But but her mom should not have brought her daughter into it. She should have resolved it without putting that weight on her to hold that responsibility of who should know and who shouldn't know. So I don't know. I don't want to speak on what the daughter should do, because I think prayer needs to be involved on what steps she should take, and in regards to how to handle it. But I just feel like the mom should not have put the daughter involved, shouldn't have brought her involved in it until she was ready to deal with the issue, until she was ready to go and so then that the daughter didn't have to be in that position of keeping a secret. Because that put pressure on the daughter. Because if the information got out, because, everybody needs somebody to talk to, so she probably going to end up talking to somebody about it, and then you don't know if they're going to keep a secret, So it's like the pressure of that can be a lot. So I really don't think that the mom should hold that child, put that child in that position where she should, help her make the decision on what she should do. And plus, her daughter was too young to be able to handle that. Now, if it was an older person, if the daughter was older, then maybe she could have played a part in that process. But her daughter was barely getting out of high school. So she's not old enough to handle that.
Yeah. And then because of time, we're going to talk about one more thing at Greenleaf, and then next week we're going to talk about...
I don't know if we have time. Do we have time to talk about one more thing?
Yeah, just real quick.
Okay.
Greenleaf, because I'll let you do that. Greenleaf, the last one we wanted to talk about is the relationship. You kind of touched on it already. The husband and wife dynamic and her not being supportive. What do I have down here? Husband-wife relationship, being supportive of one another. You kind of touched on it already. I don't know if you want to elaborate on it a little bit more in the time that we have.
The husband and wife, we can also talk about it again, continue if I don't get to it all. But there was a few things going on between them. One thing that I do know is that it's better when you're married to live separate from your in-laws, that you shouldn't live right with close to your in-laws, because you need to have that space to grow together, to bond, get through the hard times, and then be able to have good times without other people intervening. So with them, it was like the pressure of him being a minister at the church with his family, dealing with their drama and or their issues that were going on. And then he also used to have an affair. He had when it fell into infidelity, and so he's trying to resolve that and rekindle their relationship. So the wife kind of had lost respect for him for that part, and then she already was kind of like bossy anyway. So it was like a whole lot of things going on with that. And then the son, he trying to play makeup. So then it's making him look like he's, not, doesn't have that much,
Backbone.
he's not, backbone in the relationship. So when it comes to just chastising the children and giving them advice and things like that, she was more like the one making the last decision instead of him being the one, having any parts of that. But yeah, we probably going to have to continue that
Yes, we
next
could do that.
time
Yes, we could do that.
because we're getting ready to.
Yeah, we're getting short. But we will continue the conversation.
But we can continue that next time. But just briefly, I just wanted to say that Greenleaf is a pretty good show. I really enjoy it. And it's actually a lot of different social issue dynamics in that family. Tyler Perry did a very good job at putting that show together and pointing out different issues. And this is an African American family, so there are a lot of similar issues that I've actually seen, in my lifetime, whether it was my own family or other people that I knew. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
DJ Dick. I'm like, did I lose you?
No, I've been listening. And I pray and believe that the listeners are listening as well, and they're getting a lot of information. And I just want to say this, this is Tunnel Vision with DJ Dika and Miss Vicky. And we're about, our subject matter today was TV and movies that highlight real-life issues. And, we're going to be back for part 2, maybe part 3, because, there's a lot of TV shows that really are hitting on real-life issues. Sometimes we sit there and watch it for entertainment, but even with the entertainment, sometimes it makes you be like, wow, I never thought about that. And that's why I say the media can be very powerful. It can be very impactful in the right way, when media is used in the right way. I'm not talking about sex. When there's that, I'm not talking about that. So that's a whole other conversation. I'm talking about when there are TV shows, movies that really do have a message that affect how we function or how we live or how we speak or how we behave. So with that, we just want to say once again thank you for listening.
Thank you.
And before we go, because we did talk about domestic violence, and there may be someone out there listening to our show, and there may be someone out there maybe going through domestic violence right now. And if you need help or you're afraid, we understand. But if there's any way that you can get to a phone and you can get some help, you can call the National
211.
Yes, you can call 211. And then you can also call the domestic violence hotline. But I would urge you to be in a safe place. Make sure you're not around your abuser. Be in a safe place when you're making a phone call. 1-800, this is the number, 1-800-799-SAFE, SAFE, which also is 7233. So let me say it to you again, 1-800-799-7233. And for those that are hard of hearing or deaf, you can call the 1-800-787-3224 number. And on that note, this is DJ Dika.
And Miss Vicky. Peace
out.
out.
See you next week. Peace. Hallelujah. Holla back.
Be safe.
Wish they see me for me. Me for me. Wish they see me for me. Just me, but they
see a reflection of a girl's depression from voices concerned about impressing and not respecting. I've been blessed with this blessed curse. It always